Oh, he's probably tall, huh? 222. Hey, hey. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Hey, hey. Check 1 2. Hey, hey. Check 1 2. Hi there. Check 1 2. 1 2. Hey, hey. My. Check 1 2. Oh, just a little bit louder. Oh, check 1 2.
This is all that you do. Rain, getting close to the weekend. It's got to have rains, right?
Doing? How we doing? Good morning, everyone. Yeah. So,
Get over here. I'm waiting until we get everybody in place.
yeah.
You want a spot for them?
Are they good?
We got it. Test. I don't hear that. There we go. I'm not going to lean over, so can y'all hear me okay here?
Oh, there's music playing. Yeah. Does this not go up?
It doesn't go up that I can see. No.
We hear you good.
Okay, well, I'm going to go. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hold on.
Oh, okay, let's wait. A lot of people hear music when they see me, especially for the first time. All right, here we go. Good morning, everybody. Hey, thank you for coming to be a part of what's going to be a celebration today. We could not be happier to be here. But what are we doing here today is about this. The greatest college football player on planet Earth in 2005 was Reggie Bush. And for that, they gave him this trophy, the Heisman. In 2010, it was wrongfully taken away. But here we are in 2024, and it's back in its rightful place. So, Reggie, let us give you a round of applause. I'm going to introduce what we're doing here today, and then Ben Crump has got a few words to say, and then you get to hear from the man of the hour I know you're all waiting for, Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush is one of the best guys I've ever met. As a man, he is integrity personified. He is a man of his word. We know what he was as an athlete. Every time you saw him, it's must-see TV. You see him stop, you see him go. I can't, every time I'm in a sports bar or I'm at the house and he flashes up, I got to stare and watch because it seemed like he could fly. It's the most amazing thing. But he's also a family man. And it is so great to have his 3 kids here with us today. And Lilith, they never even got to see this trophy before we got it back in Jacksonville, Florida. So the fact that we can bring this to them now it just fills us with so much pride that this team could go and get this done.
Yes.
How did this happen? I've heard a lot of speculation by a lot of folks in the media, and y'all may be surprised the speculation was pretty much wrong. My dad said, it's probably one of the most humble, soft-spoken men you ever met. He said, you get as much respect as you demand. Reggie demanded respect, but nobody was listening. And thank goodness he and I met at a pool party, Rob Gronkowski's pool party at Super Bowl, and he told me his story. And I said, Reggie, I can get this trophy back. Really? I said, I can get this trophy back. And I knew that to get this trophy back, there was a couple of different angles to this. One of them is the legal angle. One of them is how wrong it was to take it from a legal perspective. But the other one is this was wrong from a civil rights perspective. And so I called up my dear friend and someone you all know, Ben Crump. And I said, Ben, we can do this together.
Amen.
And we formed a team that I feel like was unbeatable to go and get this trophy back. First, we tried with the NCAA. I stood here in front of you almost 8 months ago to the day and said I was bringing a lawsuit against the NCAA. That lawsuit is still pending today. The NCAA is still trying to get out of that lawsuit today. They're trying, they've lost in the court of public opinion. They're trying to win in the court of law. Well, we're not going to let them do it. But when we came after the NCAA had been the hurdle or the barrier to the Heisman returning this trophy for years. The Heisman hid behind, if you would, or stood behind the NCAA and said, well, if the NCAA does the right thing, well, of course, we'll follow right along behind them. So many of you have read what we filed with the NCAA and said the investigation that led to this was flawed. Everything about the way you did this was wrong. And it's clear from anybody who can read our petition for reconsideration, the NCAA should have said, you're right, and reinstated all of Reggie's awards and reinstated all of USC's wins and USC's national championship that they took away. But they didn't. They did the wrong thing. And they said, we're not going to do the right thing. We're going to make you go to court. So we went to the Heisman Trust. And I have to give the Heisman Trust some credit. We first came with a big stick. And we said, we're not going to take this from y'all either. But we didn't need much of a big stick. Because once I approached them, they hired somebody who was instrumental in helping us get this back today, Ted Wells.
Yeah.
Ted Wells is an excellent attorney. Ted Wells is a great man. And Ted Wells helped us and fought with us with the Heisman Trust to get them to do the right thing. Michael Comerford, the new president of the Heisman Trust, was instrumental in helping us too. He felt like in the beginning that his hands were tied by the NCAA. But with Ted's help, with another attorney named Josh Hill, with Angela Vallot, who's there, they had the courage, and this is an important point for today, the courage to step up and do the right thing and go around the NCAA and say, we don't care that the NCAA is not going to do the right thing. We're going to do the right thing anyway.
Yeah.
And we're going to give Reggie the Heisman back. So thank you, Heisman Trust. Thank you to all the guys who helped us with that. Ty Sheeks, Noah McCatherine. Thank you guys for your help in bringing that back. But shame on you, NCAA. Shame on you. Why does it take so long to do the right thing? Why does it take so long to have common sense? You know, we don't need lawsuits to get these things done. I have never sued the Heisman Trust. They stepped up and did it on their own. NCAA, you should be embarrassed that these players that brought you millions and millions and billions of dollars have to sue you to get what is rightfully theirs. They shouldn't need me. They shouldn't need Ben. The NCAA should step up and take accountability. Google accountability and responsibility in NCAA. There aren't any articles. Now, that's not true because there is no accountability and there is no responsibility. They need to step up. Where do we go from here? This is the first step. This is actually a small step. I think it's important because it is historical, but it is also symbolic of what was taken away from all of these players, all of these men that stepped on this field and made this stadium electric and fireworks shooting off and brought this city all that pride. All of these men deserve to be repaid for their contributions. While they make millions of dollars for others, they made nothing for themselves. So it's a small step. What's amazing is when the court ruling came down a few Julys ago, July 1st, everyone assumed that the NCAA was going to step up and do the right thing when they changed the NIL rules were coming. And they said, well, you know what? Are you going to give Reggie your Heisman back? Doesn't he get it back now? That was the first week of July. July 29th, after a month, sitting in closed rooms, old guys rubbing their hands. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? They came forward and they said, we want to do the right thing. Wrong. They came forward and said, we will never, ever do the right thing because Reggie was paid for play. This man was not paid for play. Never. He played because he loved it. He played because he had a gift. He played to help his teammates, but he never played on this field right here that we're at today for money. He is not paid for play. So I ask at the end of this, NCAA, colleges and universities that profited billions, Power 5 conferences, smaller conferences, do the right thing.
Yeah.
Don't be on the wrong side of history.
Amen.
Hey, what's the only thing about today that's bad? This just took too long. Too long.
Too long.
Anyway, thank y'all very much. Here's Attorney Ben Crump.
Thank you, Attorney Levi McCatherine, who is a great co-counsel. Before I say anything, I have to simply say this. There are people who never dreamt this day would happen. There are people who said that this day would never happen. There are people who tried to prevent this day from ever happening. Well, we just got 6 words to say to them. Brother, we got your Heisman Trophy back. Absolutely. And y'all, it was a momentous occasion when Reggie Bush got the Heisman Trophy in 2005. But after such a long ordeal and such trials and tribulations over the last decade, I submit to you all, it is truly a historic day that see Reggie Bush get his Heisman Trophy rightly where it belongs. It is historic not just for Reggie Bush and his beautiful wife, Lilette, not just a beautiful day for his children, not just a beautiful day for his mother who's present with us, not just a beautiful day for the USC family, but a beautiful day for all of his supporters. So many supporters for so many reasons. This is a historic day because it represents a day of perseverance, of truth, being pushed down will rise again. And that's what this day is about for Reggie Bush. This is about the truth being revealed and making sure that everybody must finally acknowledge the truth. And that truth goes without saying that the Heisman Trust did the right thing today. They got on the right side of history. The question that remains is, when is the NCAA going to get on the right side of history? You know, we have a great legal team assembled, Levi and I, and we're grateful. Ty Sheets, Young McCaffrey, Jared Preston, Aaron Deaker, Paul Greinke, great lawyers and advisors. The issue, when you think about it, the NCAA can do the right thing. Martin Luther King said there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. Never a wrong time. Just like the Heisman Trust said, we're going to have the courage to do the right thing. That's what this is about. Having courage and integrity to do the right thing. Even if that means admitting in the past that you were on the wrong side of history. Yeah, I say this. Reggie spontaneously said something so profound to me in one of our conversations, Levi, as we sometimes talk late into the evening. Reggie Bush said, I manifested this moment. I manifested this moment. So many years, people had counted him out, had said he was always going to be down. But Reggie never believed that. His supporters and family never believed that. They always knew that God would answer his prayers. And thank God today, prayers are answered, and we can see it with our own eyes. Reggie Bush got his Heisman back. He got his Heisman back. Hey, y'all, remember that. He triumphed over these tribulations. And that's a great example for young athletes, but not just young athletes, for young people everywhere. Don't ever give up. If you know that you are telling the truth, don't you ever give up on the truth being acknowledged. My grandmother used to teach us when we were little boys, little girls. She said, what's worse than a lie? Telling the truth and have nobody believe you. The NCAA is a big institution, a big, powerful institution. And when they say things, it matters. And so they have to be responsible. They always talk to the young athletes, especially young black and brown athletes. You all have to be responsible. You all have to watch what you say and watch what you do because it matters. Well, NCAA, we're saying that to you today as well. You all have to be responsible. You have to mind what you say and what you do because it matters. It matters. NCAA has ignored and rejected every opportunity to make this right. even after a district court criticized the NCAA's unprofessional conduct and ruled that the NCAA's investigative report was false in several ways. This is a district court saying this. This ain't Ben Crump. This ain't Levi McCarthy. This is a district court saying this. Even a California appellate court chastised the NCAA for relying on a record that they found was so recklessly construed and found the testimony of a witness against Reggie Bush to be unclear, unreliable, speculative, vague, and so unresponsive that they would have stricken it from the record if it had been made in court. And this is what the NCAA is relying on to defame the character of a good man, a good husband, a good father. They're relying on the record what the court said, unreliable, speculative, unresponsive. And so the NCAA, you have to do the right thing. This is a celebration, y'all. Levi and I have to make these legal arguments, and you're about to hear from Reggie, and it's all good. It's all good, y'all. Reggie's in a place, you can tell when you talk to him, you can hear it in his voice that he know he's fought the good fight. He fought the good fight, and he did not let Satan prevail. With God's help, he got to this moment on the journey, but this is just the beginning of the journey to getting full justice. Full justice. But this is an important step. And this is a celebration. Absolute celebration for Reggie Bush, his family, and his supporters. It is a clarion call to the NCAA to do the right thing. Get on the right side of history. So many former Heisman Trophy winners reached out and supported Reggie. They were all unified in saying two things. Number one, that Reggie Bush deserved his Heisman Trophy back because he earned it. He earned it rightfully with devotion and conviction. And number two, they all agree that the NCAA has a history of discriminating against inner city young minority athletes, especially young black athletes. So this is a clarion call to you all, NCAA, to clean up your house. And if it falls on deaf ears at the NCAA yet again, this is a clarion call to those young minority athletes who say that we have a choice in this. We have discretion. If you don't want to respect our talents, celebrate us what we can do on the field, but despise our communities and our character, then we're going to show you that we have options too. And so this is a clarion call for the NCAA to do the right thing, and if not, for the people who have made the NCAA billions of dollars from what they can do on fields like the one behind us or what they can do on basketball courts, to say that we have options. And if you're not going to do the right thing and continue to discriminate against minority players, then you will be held to account. And you know why? Because now we have a precedent. Reggie Bush is that precedent. And so we celebrate this moment knowing that we have a little further to go on the journey. But to quote one of the most famous citizens of Los Angeles, a brother named Ice Cube, today was a good day. We give you the Heisman Trophy winner, a brother who dazzled in this Coliseum for not only the Trojan family, but for sports fans all over the world. And Mama, he did it with such style and grace and conviction. Yo, baby, Mr. Reggie Bush.
Thank you guys for being here, man. Honestly, like Ben said, I manifested this. I really did. I never believed there would come a day. Sorry. I never believed that in any of the lies that were being told about me, spread about me, things that were being said about me. I never believed it for a single day. Always knew and trusted in the hard work that I put in on that football field. Not only in the football field, but in the locker room, in the weight room, in the film room, on the practice field, on the football field, in the community. You know, it's being a college football athlete is a tremendous response. There's so much responsibility that comes along with it. And when you're competing for national championships year in and year out, it's even harder. The pressure is even more. And so, you know, I'm thinking about my time at USC and just how much of the work we put in produced the results that you saw in that football field, including this Heisman Trophy right here. You can't get to this or a national championship by cheating. I promise you. You can't. It takes a team of strong-minded people alike fighting for the same goal, working together. It takes coaches. It takes players, front office. It's an entire team that goes into winning and to being successful on the football field, or really in anything that you do. You know, I was so excited yesterday when I walked into the room and I saw a bunch of the former Heisman Trophy winners standing there, because it just showed me the fraternity that the fraternity was real. One. And that's really why we love this game so much, you know, the athletes, because we get a chance to build a fraternity that most people don't get a chance to be a part of, right? And you get a chance to do something that's unique. You get a chance to be a part of a team that's unique, that's different. And it all has helped me and shaped me to become the man I am today. Even through fighting for this Heisman Trophy, knowing that I just had to keep fighting, keep going, keep believing, never give up. You know, all the things that they teach you in football. You know, and I think that's what's unique about this situation is you learn so much of how to fight on that football field. And in the locker room with your teammates, and in the weight room with your teammates. You learn how to fight. You learn how to come back. That's why, you know, during our run, we didn't just blow teams out. There were games where we had to fight to come back. There were games where it didn't look good, but we believed in ourselves. Right? We believed in us. Maybe on those away games and other teams and the rest of the stadium didn't want to believe in us. Right? And so you get all these little experiences of just how to fight and how to succeed and how to overcome and how to just live life, honestly. And I've always felt like football is the game of life. You learn how to fight for those inches. You learn how to fight for those inches on the football field, right? Because it is a game of inches. I think the Bush push is a perfect example of that. I know they try to call it the tush push now, but that's disrespectful. I'll give my credit, all right? But, you know, it's such an amazing opportunity to be here in front of you guys today, to be able to stand here in front of you, right, as a man you see the support that I have behind me, right? I want to thank all of my attorneys, everybody behind me, for supporting me. I want to thank God for never, ever giving up on me and holding true to his promise. Amen. I want to thank my beautiful wife for just being my stress reliever whenever I needed to just talk about, the things that were bothering me, the things that were keeping me up late at night, the things that were keeping me driven to want to make sure I get this trophy back so I can show my kids so that they can see it for the first time. Today was the first time they saw the Heisman Trophy. And the first thing they said was, dang, it's big and heavy, And so it's those moments, man, that I couldn't wait for. I couldn't wait for my wife to see the trophy. And I'm so glad she was there with me in Jacksonville, when we received it back, because, she's been such a rock and just a strong backbone and foundation in my life that, yes. But the support, man, it does not go unnoticed. It really doesn't. And I'm just so thankful I can stand here in front of you guys today, proud, because I did it the right way. I never once cheated this game, ever. My teammates that I played with, and I was inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame a few months ago, and a bunch of my teammates showed up unannounced. They surprised me. And, it felt very similar to walking into the room yesterday with all the former Heisman winners and just seeing those guys there that I played with, my teammates, and being able to share in that moment, with them and celebrate the fact of I'm going into the Hall of Fame, but I couldn't have got there without those guys. I couldn't have gotten this trophy without those guys. And that's what I'm so proud of is this trophy is not just a representation of me. It's a representation of my teammates as well that helped me fight to get there. Day in and day out in football practice, we were battling on that field. The toughest battles were in practice. And that's why you saw the results on the football field, because we made the practices harder than the games. We really did. And that's something I'm so proud of because it taught me so much about the value of hard work, and eventually it will pay off. Eventually it will, the things that you want, if you just stay focused, you stay true to it, stay true to yourself, things that I feel like I've did throughout this entire process, just staying true to myself, never giving up, never wavering, never a doubt, always staying just locked in. Yesterday felt like game day for me when I went to get that trophy. I promise you. I was hyped up. I was ready to run down the football field. I was waiting for a punt or something to come down. I was excited, man. And my wife would tell you, I got the chills all over again, and I can't wait to run out on that football field, with the team. I really can't. It's been a dream of mine for a very long time to be able to come out in that football field, as a rightful Heisman Trophy winner in 2005. And to run out on that field with the team in front of this stadium and in front of the fans that are going to be here as well, because we once graced this football field. We built a tradition that we feel like still resonates with the players today. Same thing we did in New Orleans when we won a Super Bowl. We built a tradition of hard work, of excellence that is still, you see signs of it with the current team now. And that's what it's about. It's passing it down to the next generation. Because somebody passed it down to me at some point. And somebody handed the baton over to me and told me to go and do great things with it. And that's what I want to do now with the young generation, the guys who are strapping it up on Saturdays and they're going to run out there in that football field and actually play. I've always believed there's a fine difference between players play and coaches coach. When you come into the stadium, you come into the stadium to watch the players play. You walk into that stadium, you turn on that TV to watch Caleb Williams. Excites you, right? With the way he throws a football, down the field, or the way that some of the receivers, run their routes, right? This is going to be an amazing new journey for the USC Trojans going into the Big Ten. I'm excited for them because they get a chance to step into a new conference where they got to prove themselves. And that's what this game is all about. It's all about proving yourself. And that's something that, again, I always wanted to keep with me is just that mindset of always wanting to prove myself. I've always wanted to entertain people, and I've always wanted to prove myself to people. I don't want respect given to me. I want to earn your respect, and hopefully I've earned your respect today. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take some questions now. Obviously, you want to ask Reggie, you want to ask anybody, just ask away.
Reggie, what do you think was the turning point, and how important do you think having legal counsel was in you obtaining your Heisman Trophy back?
I mean, the legal counsel is everything. Honestly, you think they just gonna listen to me directly? Like, no, it took a team for us to get here, and so I couldn't be more appreciative of these guys here. Levi told you a funny story. We did actually meet at a pool party. It was kind of crazy, but I look at that moment because when people come into your life, when God puts people into your life, it don't matter when or where it happens. It's just a matter of, what you guys do, with that opportunity. And, it was loud, people running around, drunk, and we still somehow were able to create this right here. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's so powerful, that message.
I remember the phone call.
I got it.
Reggie, was there ever any doubt that this day would come?
There was never a doubt in my mind that it would come. I knew. Anytime, I don't even know if you guys remember when you guys asked me, anytime anybody's on the street ever asked me, it don't matter what, yes, it's coming back. At some point, it's coming back. I've always believed that. I've never, ever said to someone that I wasn't sure. I'm 100% sure because I know the truth is on my side. And when you got the truth on your side, that's all you need.
Behind every great man is a wonderful.
Yes.
Hear from your wife as to-
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They want to hear from you. They want to hear from the woman that they are.
Yeah.
You want to hear what it means for the trophy to come back home where it belonged? I'm only going to say what's in my heart, and this is a beginning for a healing journey. It is healing for my husband, for our family, because we all went through the process of what happens to you when you are betrayed. So we all kind of lived that life for the last 10 plus years. So this is a beginning of a healing process for my husband, for our family. And I'm really happy and thrilled for that because it can only get better from here.
Wonderful.
Reggie, I know you talked in the past.
Yep.
To add on to what your wife said, you talked in the past about the emotional strife that
Yep.
caused not having this trophy. Can you explain that a little bit more? Like, what was so hard, and why was it the trophy specifically that?
It was more of being labeled a cheater, right? The trophy, I guess, was the icing on the cake, being taken away from me. But being labeled a cheater was far worse because I've never cheated. And there's no proof of that I've cheated. And also, when you work as hard as I do, when you grind as hard as I do, when you have all of your teammates also there to see, the work and the ethic, and the coaches as well. I was the first guy on the football field and the last guy off. You can ask anybody who's ever played with me. I was always the last person off that football field because I saw that from the guys in front of me that were successful. And I saw them work like that. And so I wanted to be as successful or more successful than those guys. And so the hard work took me there. And the dedication, and also, just being as focused and locked in as humanly possible, while going to school. People have to understand playing football and going to school, those are 2 full-time jobs. It is not easy to prepare for a midterm while you got one of the biggest games ahead of you, that week. It's very tough to do. In a lot of ways, college football is tougher than the NFL because you have so much pressure. The pressure of, first of all, wanting to make it and trying to get there is I mean, you got voices in your head every single day, right? And so for me, the work and effort that I put in, it felt like it just was taken away from me, you know? And I put in way too much hard work for that.
One or two more.
Reggie, for going off what you said about that fight.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to kind of the percentage of the population that maybe still has this impression of you, or still, what do you feel like?
Yeah.
Still,
You know, I for me, it's more about the supporters and focusing on the people who've been there for me. You know, I know there have been millions of doubters out there, and hopefully now those people can see that, you know, what we've been saying all along is true, and what we've been fighting for all along is true. The truth prevails at some point in time, and that's what you're seeing here right now.
People in the streets.
Yeah.
I did something about 2.5 years ago. I don't know if you recognize it,
Yes.
but it's I put up
Oh,
a
Brian.
whole bunch of billboards.
Yes.
I do not tell you about that.
Yes,
That I
Brian.
am
Yes.
asking you now for your permission. And I said on the billboard, where is my Heisman Trophy?
Yes.
And I want you to know it's right there. And I want to put the billboards up and say, hey, Reggie's got his.
Brian, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. All those billboards y'all saw, give Reggie's Heisman Trophy back. It's the man right here, Brian Kennedy. Has been a huge supporter. These are one of the people, when I talk about the supporters, been in my corner from day one. This guy right here. You know, and there's other people as well who've been in my corner as well. But man, I seeing those billboards started a lot of conversations in my car with the kids. But I appreciate you, Brian, man. I told you, we talked on the phone, and I told you, man, that I appreciated your support, because you gave me support, you know, in a time of need. And at some point in time in our life, we've all needed support, you know, in some way, shape, or form to get to where we wanted to get to. And so people like you, Brian, I can't thank you enough, man, for just your efforts and helping us restore this Heisman Trophy, man. You put the word out. You got the city talking about it. And thank you, man, so much. I appreciate that. You did. You did the right thing. You did, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. For me, going forward, it's about man. There's still so much of college football that needs to be fixed. I don't believe NIL is the fix. I don't. I think NIL is a thing you've always owned since you were a kid, since you were born.
Yeah.
You've always owned your name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
But yet, for some reason, here in college football and basketball, you're not allowed to profit off of that. And in no other business, and I believe also Brett Kavanaugh said this as well during the Supreme Court ruling. In no other form of work would that be legal. Wow. You know, so for me, it's about educating kids, right? Educating college athletes, specifically football players and basketball players, because college football is king in the world of college sports. It is a multi-billion-dollar business. Billions of dollars are made off of these kids who are getting nothing. And these kids, especially when I was in college, we had nothing. There's days where we were hungry, starving, after games. This is not after. I'm not talking about on the after practice, after games. You know, and then also after practices too, when the cafeteria would be closed, and we didn't have enough money in our pockets. Wow. And so me and my roommate, we ate a lot of matzo meal, ate a lot of cream of wheat, a lot of cereal. You know, we had to figure out ways to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Like, those are all things that we had to live through. But I don't think right now in this era, I think these kids, they deserve more, because we are far more educated now than we've ever been. But yet at the same time, these college football players and basketball players, they don't fully understand the business side of the sport. And I think when you, again, as an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, your head is spinning. You're just trying to make it. You're just trying to get there, right? And you're told to, do these things and operate this specific way, and you can't do this and you can't do that, or you'll be penalized. And yet at the same time, this stadium is filled with fans that want to watch those players, right? They're paying to go watch those players. Nobody has ever paid to go watch Nick Saban coach. They paid to go watch those D linemen get after the quarterback. They paid to go watch the quarterbacks throw the football down the field and carve up some of those secondaries.
And the running backs electrify like
and the running backs, we do our thing too. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I think it's so important right now for college kids, basketball and football players, to understand their value. I think they need to understand their value to this game and their value to this sport and their value to these fans. And so my goal is to educate them as much as possible so they understand the business side. I don't think you're ever too young to understand the business side, of the sport that you're playing in.
Last question.
Reggie, you talk about manifesting this moment.
Yep.
How does that compare to what reality looks like now? We're talking about the kids that
You said, can you explain a little bit more? Like,
you said you're manifesting this moment.
Yeah.
Visualizing you do this moment is going to happen.
Yeah.
How would you compare it to what it looks like now in reality?
I think it's better, than what I imagined it to be. I think it's a full circle moment for me right now, being here in front of you guys. It really is. Being able to stand here in front of you with my kids, for years, they asked me, Daddy, when are you getting your Heisman Trophy back? And it's funny, the other day, my son asked me, he said, when are you getting your Heisman Trophy back? I said, soon. He said, you said that 2 years ago. I was like, you know what? You're right, son. I apologize about that. It's not fully in my control, but again, being here in front of you guys, this is a full circle moment for me because I can close my eyes and I can right away place myself back on that football field wearing the number 5 jersey, and running down the football field, scoring touchdowns, exciting the crowd, celebrities all over the sidelines, and that's why I say this moment is full circle for me because, again, I won this trophy in 2005. It was wrongfully taken away from me, and now we get to stand here with the truth on our side, and we get a chance to stand here in front of you guys today, knowing that I always did this the right way. Always, I was always true to myself. I did it with class, and I never had to resort to anything that was unwarranted.
Reggie. Thank
you, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. What else we got? Any more questions?
I would, you want to hold it up and let them get some pictures?
Yeah, you want to step around here?
Yeah.
Get your family up in front of you here.
Then we're going to open it up for pictures now.
Yeah, we're done with Reggie.